Yo, what is up, guys? I think it was about time I decided to show this guy off. We have my new custom Mezco 1/12 scale Spider-Man, who still has the Miles Morales stance because he is a bootleg. Could pick up a new one of these, or at least the Homecoming, or even the classic one for like $15. But am I going to? Fuck no. It also seems that right now, despite my best efforts, he can't exactly stand on his own. This guy was not exactly easy to make, nor the peg holes on the bottom of his feet that don't entirely fit. They're kind of loose. I don't even know what's going on with that anymore. Now, you are all familiar with the last one. He was mainly using the same body with, new arms as the bootleg Miles Morales Spider-Man. This one is a whole new body. Not too sure what body. In fact, I'm almost inclined to think it's some bootleg 3A body that I had cut the arms at the bicep and the thighs and used sculpt to make them longer, so he's more of an adult Spider-Man. And of course, I had some sculpt here to bulk him up just a little bit, and on his arms just a little bit. No, I added the sculpt down here. That's what I did. And my dog is whimpering. Randy, I am working. And those glowing eyes because of the light. Either that or she's secretly a demon. Nah, she's not a demon. She's just a dog. The dog is outside, and I don't really feel like waiting because I've been putting off showing this guy off for like a little while now. I moved to the kitchen. Yeah, remember this? This is where I filmed, ignore those. This is where I filmed a lot of my custom figure reviews, showcases during, like, a whole month-long period where I only uploaded 2 videos when college started. What you barking at? What is it? Who is it? Who is it? Okay, that's not going to get annoying real fast. And, well, as you can see, he's kind of, loosely kind of in the logo, maybe a little bit. I wanted to say it was more based off of, like, John Romita's Senior's art, like, his later art, but not really. In fact, to me, it's looking more like 90s Mark Bagley, just a little bit, but the eyes aren't quite big enough. Seriously, that dog. And I know my sewing isn't exactly the greatest, like, especially on these sides. That's because I took apart the sides as a way of trying to get into here, because the torso joint would just do that. Sometimes it actually stays now. It was a weird thing to do, and now, because of that, the sewing is a little off. And the head is super loose. Kind of want to get another one of these heads for another custom. Now, going over some of the finer details, of course, no matter how many times I try to repaint it, this red is too dark, mainly because I painted it on a black figure without prepping at first like an idiot. And it's a very light shade of red. And I put the logo, it was super glued on, and at first it worked, then I re-super glued some parts, and now there's that ugliness right there. The Miles Morales logo on it. And now it's also off to the side because of that janky sewing. It looked so much better when I first did this. And you can check my Figure Realm and Instagram. Links will probably be in the description. That looked way better the first time. Definitely. Now, considering the sculpt of him, because he is kind of scrawny, he's kind of too tall to be like a teenage Spider-Man, so maybe more like a young adult Spider-Man, like a Spider-Man, the new animated series type of Spider-Man, which is a custom I've been wanting to make for years, and what I might use that other head for if I ever get it, because I wanted to use a Mafex Spider-Man head, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 one, but that guy is expensive as all hell. Or maybe he's just Spider-Man from that Spider-Man Quality of Life book. Yeah, if you were confused and thought that those were promotions for the Ultimate Spider-Man series that would later become Spider-Man the New Animated Series, you were not alone. I thought the exact same thing, but turns out no, they were just a comic. A comic that looks very Ultimate Spider-Man, but is set in the 616 universe. Weird. But I don't think you came here to see me complain about how grid-like some of these webs are, and some of my more sloppy stitching. Okay, maybe you did come here for that. I don't know what you come here for. I don't know, some of the parts of the stitch got ripped, and I just put down some super glue. Because I did not feel like it. I really need to maybe ask some professionals about how to do this. Hell, I was just browsing Instagram today and I saw this. This man's custom here is pretty cool. Not the best post, but glad I found that blank body. Probably see if I can find it and leave some links for eBay, because this thing is quite posable. That, and without the modifications, it actually makes a good Miles Morales. So, maybe I might do one of those one day. So I guess I need to buy a new Miles because, you know, costume's a little messed up. Is this a treat for a certain... I'm sure most of you want to see more of this. Yeah, she is alive. That was all just an April Fool's thing. I'm sure you guys will still be mad about it, but it was April Fool's Day. See, now we're back in the bedroom, and because of that, I want to go over something about these blank bodies. See? Ignore the twisty ties. That was so then they could fit on the pizza, Spidey. These, you know, there's some figure hands. They don't particularly fit well on this guy. Like, you needed to use a, you know, a blow dryer in order to get them off because they were on there pretty good. You see, this is what I was talking about. This is why I had the super glue. And even though I modified the peg here, it does kind of fit the Mezco figures, but web accessories don't fit on too good. This does not. So if you want to buy one of these and try to do this yourself, unless you drill these, hollow them out a little, these will not fit on your Mezcos. At least, you know, something like this won't be compatible with something that also fits this. Although, it might not fit on him, but these do fit on your Mezco Spider-Man, or at least the bootleg. I mean, they're a tad bit loose. It's not like loose if the point where you shake it, that's going to happen. So, guess you want to do a stop motion where like his gloves get fried while beating the shit out of Electro, and there you go. Something I might do. Of course, it won't be in the same continuity as the Mezco Spider-Man stop motion. By the way, you should really check that out. I've been trying to get back into the stop motion thing, and I think it's kind of cool. I especially love the parts where I animate Spider-Man crawling. Feels like the best wall crawling I ever did. Especially with all those Web of Spider-Man episodes I made and never really uploaded to YouTube. Ever. Huh. Yeah, and I can't get those back, can I? Because Windows Movie Maker doesn't see them as valid files or something. So all that work is just lost. Well, that fucking sucks. It comes with the same accessories, ignore that joint. I had bought it off of eBay without knowing the proper size, trying to repair the wrist joint. Yeah, remember when that debacle happened? It comes with the same accessories as the other one, because it's the same shit. I didn't do anything new. I took apart the old one and kind of regret it. But he will be reborn with another bootleg Spider-Man. And he will get a suit made by a professional and not an amateur, thinking he was better than he was and then making this. I mean, it looks better than the last one, but still looks really shoddy. Okay, so for starters, let me just get him into kind of a vanilla pose here. And hope I didn't just mess up everything with that. And the fabric isn't bunching up. Alright. So for starters, the head can look up about that far, down that far. The neck can make him look up this far, and down about this, and then after that it's probably about to fall out. And of course, you got side to side up here, and side to side down here, and, you know, neck pivot. Not really too much head pivot, just a little bit, but it's more, excuse me, it's more the crazy amount of neck pivot. Got butterfly joints that go in that much, go out that much. He's got a ball jointed shoulders. Still don't know why it's called ball joint. It's not exactly a ball half the time. You know, goes up about that far. It rotates 360, but the fabric kind of hinders it. Got a bicep swivel that would go the full 360, but, you know, fabric. Double jointed elbows. And, you know, you got your import figure wrist hinge, which rotates, hinges, and then this part rotates. Except now the hand's coming off. You got your diaphragm joint that when it doesn't shift, it goes about that far forward. And let me make sure that spine is and about that far back. Yeah, I risked everything and messed up the sewing and all this just for that. Now with the waist, sorry, it also rotates. It holds the pose better when it's rotated. Now the waist, you got rotation, but it also hinges forward that far with this joint actually working is pretty far. Damn it. And this far back with both joints doing their thing. Would have full 360, but costume at the hips goes this far forward, that far back. Hip swivel, thigh swivel, sorry. And it's a ball joint. It's been a while since I've seen honest-to-God ball joints. Not something that's like a ball cut like Hasbro figures or, cupped like this, but just a ball joint. And it's so weird seeing one of those. Under that, got a double jointed knee. Don't have any rotation up here. We have rotation down here. And the foot moves that far down. That far up. And we have a tiny bit of ankle pivot. It's because it's like a ball and peg joint, a ball and socket joint, and of course it gets disconnected. Maybe I ought to try to fix that because it looks kind of baggy. I also want to take it apart and make it in a way where it makes him a little taller because of this. Oh look, he's got a broken ankle. It's worse than Deadpool. Okay, well, because the fabric doesn't really flap around. That kind of killed the joke immediately. And he does have homemade peg holes at the bottom of his feet, so he can make a gloriously futile effort at actually getting it in this hole so he can stand. Come on. Come on. Come on. Son of a bitch. I'll get it down one day, but not today. So, of course, he comes with a pair of fisted hands, pair of web-slinging hands, and a pair of crawling/relaxed hands. This one looks more relaxed, this one looks more crawling. Kind of wish we had, a right and left of these and a right and left of those. But that's not what we get. Of course, we get, the one of these webs that are, I guess, being fired like a web ball. I'm not sure. One's bigger, one's smaller. We have, like, a web that's being spun to, like, grab on something, more of this web spray. And, of course, this nice, bendy web line. This kind of just not the greatest twisted, so I twisted it to make it look more like Spider-Man's web. This has been depicted and looks pretty good. Used to just look like 3 metal cords before. And of course we have the stand and the peg that he can never seem to fit. And the magnetic clamp so you can attach him to those kind of surfaces that certain things attach to, metal, because it's a magnet. Or if you don't know magnets, I'm sorry. They're not going to cure autism or cure your diseases. They're fucking magnets. And of course, the stand has the adjustable arm. Love me some adjustable stands. Now, if only Hasbro could give us some. As I like to compare this sort of thing to like half of my collection, I'm going to try to keep it as brief as I can. Here he is standing next to the Mezco Spider-Man, and they're about the same height. Standing next to the tallest figure in my collection because of these damn magnets. Here he is next to the John Romita Senior Spider-Man, and yeah, he's a fair bit taller. It's because of these damn magnets I need to drill out. We can go a little deeper in the figure. Here he is standing next to an iconic Spider-Man figure, and based off an iconic artist, or possibly two, because we don't know if it's J. Scott Campbell or Todd McFarlane. We have the McFarlane Spider-Man, also a little taller than him, or maybe just despite being taller, maybe this guy's still pretty short, but not as short as the official. Here he is, seemingly standing shorter, maybe just slightly shorter, in the Pantheon of Pizza, because they're all mostly the same figure, maybe different heads, or in his case, a different torso. And here he is, standing next to the PS4 Spider-Man, who's been modified and repainted. And there, I think he's slightly taller. Just because his head's looking down. I'm just going to say they're about the same height and call it that. Oh. Okay, yeah, maybe the torso. Yeah, about the same height. Next to some teenage Spider-Man, we got Homecoming and Far From Home, and yeah, he's taller. Here he is standing next to First Appearance Spider-Man and Ultimate Spider-Man. Hasbro, why don't you give us a new one of these? I wouldn't even care if it's the same body as this. This is supposed to be a 15-year-old Spider-Man when he first started. I kind of want a new one of these. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love this figure, but I don't love his lack of torso articulation, or the fact that this is the second one I have whose waist is falling apart. Spider-Man party, yeah! Wait, what's going on over there? Also, I feel bad because I excluded this guy from the Spider-Man party because I just completely forgot about him. Here he is standing next to a generic female body. We have Mary Jane, and as you can see, he's only slightly taller. Cute as this could be, that MJ over there has so many Spider-Men. She's got a harem. Either that or most of them are simps. Here he's standing next to the Hyperion body. We have Captain America, and here he's standing next to the Bucky Cap body. We have Batman, who's slightly taller because of the ears. Now time for a variety of villains. We have Mysterio and Scorpion. I think the scaling works, Scorpion being slightly taller because he is supposed to be stronger than Spider-Man technically. And Mysterio only... yeah, they're about the same height. Yeah, the scaling works. Here he's standing next to Electro, who, maybe because he's bent slightly forward, seems to be slightly shorter. Okay, well maybe I'm just looking at the wrong angle, like... Alright, let's say they're about the same height. Maybe Electro's a little shorter, and the Lizard, who's hunched over, seems about the same height. Let's say he's about the same height as Superior Octopus, who I recently got, and Doc Ock is definitely taller than... Kind of did this round of villains, because a lot of them have weird and different body types, and I don't know what I could compare them to. Although I do want to use this guy for the revised custom. But, he's got a different type of neck joint, so maybe I'll just buy another bootleg Mayfix Spider-Man. Here he is with Ultimate Venom, who stands a shade taller than him, because, Hyperion body mostly, Toxin body. And, Ultimate Vulture. Now, I want to compare these two. So it almost looks like Blackie Draco over here was taller than him. Just the angle then. Looks like this pale white vest. It is maybe a little shorter. Also, like the work I did it, I gave him, I modified his eyes. Okay, of course the camera's going to be really bright so you can't see it. Here he is with the Onslaught Wave Green Goblin, who he's taller than, and the Spider-Man Classics Hobgoblin, which he is shorter than. I mean, despite my modifications, this man is still really tall.
Maybe these two will be the villains for the sequel. Among others, you never know.
Well, anyway, that's my review, guys. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and have a good day, everyone. Whoa, hey, you made it to the end. Cool. Alright, awesome, this is really weird, but if you want some more of that sweet, sweet Mugmen content, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Mugmen. And this goes out to whoever's been deeming things that aren't for kids, you know, for kids on YouTube. Go fuck yourself.